Hi, so today I'm going to talk about what evidence-based practices I'm familiar with. Some of them I currently use in my classroom right now. The first one I want to talk about is functional behavioral assessment. I actually wasn't familiar with this before I started taking some classes for my certificate. I currently use that for students that are exhibiting behaviors that I just can't get a handle on. Basically, functional behavior assessments will assess the student for why they are having the behaviors, what is the function of their behavior, and then it will allow you to implement an evidence-based practice for that student that will help minimize the behaviors of the disruptive behaviors that the student may be having. Another evidence-based practice that I'm familiar with is modeling, and this is where you demonstrate the desired behavior to the learner and in hopes that they will imitate that desired behavior. And I currently use this alongside with reinforcements and prompting and scaffolding until the learner is confident in doing it independently. And it's been really beneficial in my class. And another evidence-based practice that I use, like this is probably my top evidence-based practice that I use, is the picture exchange communication system. I currently work with preschool special education, so they are very young, ages 3 to 5, and they are just learning to talk. Some of them have some language, but it supports their language 100%. Picture exchange communication system is also known as PECS. In PECS, they have 6 phases that the learner will go through, and each of those phases focus on a different aspect of communication. And this has produced so much language with my students. I had students coming in that would just only repeat words, and now with using the PECS, they are able to actually retrieve the language in their own mind without using PECS. So it's really been beneficial for my kids and my students. Another one that I use is prompting, and prompting is just pretty much with everything. All the strategies I use in the class, prompting just kind of goes alongside with it, with gestural cues, visual cues, and physical cues to help the students be successful, and then scaffold them, remove them when they are no longer needed. And another evidence-based practice is reinforcements. Reinforcement I use just as I would prompting in everything. The learners definitely like to be reinforced. So one thing that they look forward to every day is getting their little sticker at the end of the day, but throughout the day we are using reinforcements as well to keep the students on task. And it's been really, really helpful in increasing the behaviors that I would like to see and decreasing the behaviors that I don't want to see. Another evidence-based practice that I was not familiar with before taking these classes is pivotal response training. And in this training, you get the students motivated to learn through self-management and building upon what the learner's interest is. And I had a student who did not want to follow his schedule. He does like routine, but he wants to have a little bit of control in his routine and what he's learning. And so we use this to help minimize his refusals. He went to having up to 28 refusals to a day, and now he will average 0 to 3 refusals in a day. So this has definitely been a game changer for the student. I was not familiar with this, but I'm so thankful that I was able to learn about that. And now I'm going to talk about which ones I am interested in learning more about and why. The first one that I am interested in learning about is that structured playgroups. Structured playgroups is where you have a specific activity led by an adult, but you have peers in the group where they're playing a specific activity. And so the typical peers will be around the students with ASD, and the idea is that the students will pick up on what the other kids are doing. And so I would love to be able to implement this in my class. And a second one that I would like to learn about is parent implemented intervention. I feel like parents don't have the support at home and that they don't know how to, they know a lot of things about their kids, but they don't know how to help them, especially for the ones that have very challenging behaviors. Maybe they act up in the grocery store and they can't go into public. So I think that this would be great to have for my parents to provide them with the support that they need at home. And I would be interested in learning both of these because currently I do mainstream with the state preschool, but I don't actually have specific activities where it's structured and there's a specific direction in mind. So I would love to be able to implement that. And of course, support my parents at home. So those are the biggest reasons why I would love to learn about these two evidence-based practices. After reviewing the Faces of Autism in the IRIS module, it dawned on me just through reading that and listening to the parents on there and the students on there, it really reminded me the importance of listening to the parents and just allowing them to know that we value them and that what they say is important. I had a parent that was very aggressive, that she felt like she had to fight for her son. And when she saw that we both had the same goal in mind, we both wanted to see him succeed, she realized that, I was there for the same reason, and she really values what I say now. And it was just building that relationship with her and that trust with her. So I think that having that trust with the parents is critical, and that we listen to them. It's so important. And that we also need to be willing to try any evidence-based practice. Some what works with one student may not work with all of the student. For example, a student who is very controlling and that's what their personality is. They like to have control. And sometimes we have to adjust our thinking. This happened to me this year, so I'm very familiar with it. That, sometimes, we all have different personalities, and we have to keep that in mind when we're using these evidence-based practices. I didn't understand, hey, I'm not changing your routine. What's the problem? You should follow the schedule. But when I realized that he needed control, that's what made me realize, okay, I don't know everything, and that I need to be open to trying new things, trying change, because it's important for them and their education and their development. So really listening to parents that have children with autism and listening to the students as they get older, it really is so critical in supporting our families.